Are we live? Oh, okay, good. Hello, eager trainers. My name is Holly Vervain, but you can call me Professor Vervain. If you're seeing this live broadcast, congrats! You've been chosen by a select few children to join the Kansa project. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I can explain a bunch more once we meet at the Cottonworth University, so I'll be awaiting your arrival there. I'm just so excited to share what we have in store for you all. Before I let you go, however, I need all of you to register yourself in our system. You should have been mailed a specialized device that will allow you to sign yourself in. Simply select whether you are a boy or a girl, enter your name and age, and a brief description as to why you want to be a Pokemon trainer. As one last prize before I get kicked off the air, I'd like to show all of you the kind Pokemon that you will be introduced to once you arrive at the university. This is just so exciting! Allow me to introduce you to the world of Pokemon!
Hello YouTube, it's NOBL and welcome back to Pokemon Kansa. I hope you all liked that little skit from the intro. However, some of you may have some questions, like Cottonworth University? What is that? Also, the professor showing us starters, but we saw them already. I know, it's confusing, but stay tuned. Today I'll be showing you the second half of the starter Pokemon of the Kansa region. Let's hop in. So I'll address the elephant in the room. The starters have already been made, so what are these second starters? Well, this is something rather unique to the Kansa region. That being that the region itself is split between two locations. This will make more sense once I make a map video. However, all you need to know right now is that the region is broke up between the north and the south. I actually foreshadowed this in Buffalo's Pokédex entry, as it talks about the northern invasive Buffalant. On top of the region being split, so is the story. For instance, if this was a Pokemon game, you get to choose whether to start in the north or south of the region. This choice would drastically change the game and story itself. This all ties into the overarching story, but I don't want to spoil that, so I'm gonna just get into the new starters. Just like the trio for the south, the northern trio has a theme established between each of them. Where the southern Pokemon have this theme of society, this trio has the theme of positions in said society. That being a laborer, politician, and inventor. Also, if you couldn't tell by the silhouettes, these are all regional forms of the Unova starters, which is just awesome. Let's get straight into the starters. The first Pokemon line I made was Tepig. Another thing I did to differentiate these starters from the south was change the type triangle of the starters. Instead of grass, fire, water, these starters are ground, ice, and steel. Tepig as a ground type was so easy as, well, it's a pig. The shinies of all these starters reference their Unovan counterparts, which I thought was a nice touch. Tepig, the mud pig Pokemon. Unlike their Unovan counterparts, Tepig in the Kansa region appear much more skittish and timid. When observed from afar, however, Tepig seem to love sparring with one another, leaving destruction in the wake of their battles. Next was Pignite. Fun fact, I tried to make Pignite on all fours, but it was just too difficult to transfer onto paper. I originally was going to make this Pokemon's evolution line more primal, but I decided against it last minute. Changing the swirls Pignite has on it was a bit difficult, but the eroded patches of dirt fit perfectly. Pignite, the mud pig Pokemon. These Pokemon are a large reason as to why the northern part of the region developed so quick. This is due to their introduction to the workforce, as Pignite from the Kansa region are considerably stronger than their Unovan counterparts. Final evolution time. This line would represent labor, so I wanted a hefty pig Pokemon that you could see at a construction site or something. I feel this final evolution, as well as the others, were pulled off perfectly. Just like the southern starters, these three have custom abilities in their final evolutions. Labor's is Wrecking Ball. This ensures Labor's attacks hit through things like Substitute, Protect, Detect, and even break screens as well. Labor, the Labor Pig Pokemon. The strength these Pokemon possess is nearly unrealistic. Their Wrecking Ball-like tails are intensely dense, allowing Labor to shatter them through nearly any surface. Despite protesters' beliefs, Labor loved to work on demo and construction projects alike. Snivy was the most fun to make. I never understood why Unovan Snivy has legs and arms. They just looked so out of place, so I made Kansas Snivy a true snake Pokemon. Fun fact, Kansas has more snakes per square mile than any other state. Was that foreshadowing for later? I'll let you decide. Snivy, the ice snake Pokemon. These rather stuck-up Pokemon are one of three imported from a nearby region and acclimated to the region's habitat. Due to the scarce amount of icy climates in Kansa, these Pokemon are rather uncommon, causing them to be seen as a hidden treasure of the region. Servine was just as satisfying to make as Snivy. Just like Snivy, Unova Servine has legs and arms, yet they evolved to lose these features, so it really doesn't make any sense. I went for a more royal rather than political design for this Pokemon, as the evolution line symbolizes upper class or politicians. I also forgot to mention these Pokemon all have standard abilities similar to Overgrow, Blaze, and Torrent. Tectonic Pulse increases ground attacks, Chilling Wind increases ice attacks, and Tune-Up increases steel attacks. In a pinch, of course. Servine, the Ice Snake Pokemon. Servine, as well as its evolved form, are commonly seen with people of power within the Kansa region's many large cities. Their scarcity and elegance offer themselves as a great fit for these upper-class Pokemon collectors. Now on to Imperior. It was kinda hard to find a snake to base Imperior on, as I wanted it to be somewhat wearing a royal getup. Cobras worked, though those can't be found in Kansas, at least I hope. I decided on it anyway, as its body shape fit too well. Its hidden ability is Royal Glare. If you use a priority move on Imperior, there's a 50% chance you'll be frozen due to this ability. Imperior, the Royal Pokemon. Training these Pokemon is incredibly difficult. They will outright refuse to battle Pokemon they deem unworthy of being within their presence. The aristocrats of Kansas' big cities seek this Pokemon, as it became somewhat of a status symbol, distinguishing the rich from the poor. Oshawott was a fun one. Making a Steel-type Oshawott was a bit difficult, but I feel I did an okay job. It looks a little too much like Unova Oshawott, but I used this to my advantage, adding it to its Pokédex entry. This evolution line would symbolize innovation. Oshawott, the Hammer Otter Pokemon. Since Kansa and Oshawott look so similar to their Unovan counterparts, they are commonly mistaken for a shiny form rather than their own Pokemon. The mallet on their stomach has been there since birth, and Oshawott used this tool to tinker and fiddle with objects like sticks and rocks. Duat was in a similar situation as Oshawott, where it looked a little basic. I tried my best with the design, but Unovan, Duat, and Oshawott are just really hard to build off of. I changed the shells on its lower abdomen to pouches it could stuff tools and items into as it crafts its invention. Duat, the Innovator Pokemon. Duat from the Kansa region are insanely intelligent Pokemon. Using tools they craft from the wild, Duat will invent tools, weapons, and even mechanisms to aid them in day-to-day life. The humans of northern Kansa have used these Pokemon to great effect in aiding them with inventions of their own. With the final evolution, I wanted to make Duat evolve into an actual otter. Samurott is cool, but a bit of a weird end to Oshawott's line, I'll say. I changed the fur to look like a plumber's getup and added a few more pouches to its design. Its hidden ability, Innovation, would work kind of like Download. However, instead of only affecting the attack and special attack, it would also affect the defenses as well. Tinkawatt, the Inventor Pokemon. Many of the innovations of modern culture in the Kansa region are due to Tinkawatt working with humans to create something truly amazing. Their intellect extends even to battle, as Tinkawatt are able to increase their stats mid-battle as they please to deal with their opponents. So those are the starters of the Kansa region. Again. My next video will involve some Route 1 Pokemon you can find in the region, so stay tuned. I will be switching off building the north and south of the region each week. Since this week was the north, next week will be in the south, and so on and so forth. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. NOBL, out.